Okay, so we'll just get started now. Hi, welcome once again, everyone. Um, we'll be talking about, and by the way, we are live on YouTube so that for those that are probably going to join late, they can have an opportunity to have the recap of this session. I would like to talk about maximizing your time for greater impact. Basically, work smarter, not other. Realize that in Canada, which this program is specifically targeted towards, we are, time is money. Every hour, it's something. So we need to ensure that we optimize our time in order to have like the best possible cost as well. So maximizing your time for greater impact, basically working smarter and not other. Just a few introduction about myself. First of all, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus as the Son of God, and I believe that is the way, is the truth, and the life. By training, I'm currently a project manager. Also, I am a leadership enthusiast, so I love everything about leadership. I absolutely believe what John C. Maxwell said when he said that, everything rises and falls on leadership. I'm extremely keen about the concept of leadership. Um, I enjoy everything about personal excellence. I believe that, excellence is a progressive realization of a worthy goal. I believe that, you can build yourself, keep doing things better, and, everything around you can turn to a good thing. I'm family centric. So one major thing about me is that I have one wife and two children. And I'm all about them. And, I prefer to be at home just with them rather than being outside. So yes. Also, I love Arsenal Football Club, and I just believe that Arsenal is the best club in the world, with or without trophy. Also, I own two businesses. Apart from working as a project manager, I own two companies. One is a project management learning institute. The other one is a consulting company. And I don't believe anything is impossible. So I believe that impossibility is an illusion. And sometimes I tend to, enjoy it when there's a problem or there's a task for me to solve. I really enjoy it. Yeah, and I'm very fast and highly disciplined. If you want to get anything done, just call me. Um, the movement from planning to execution for me is extremely fast, and I'm highly disciplined as well. I believe George Washington when he said that discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small number formidable and it procures strength to the weak. So yeah, um, I enjoy setting goals and achieving them. Like I said, I'm a go-getter, so I really enjoy setting goals. And I'm an addicted planner. I can plan the budget of a nation. I used to say that humorously, and that's because I enjoy planning. I enjoy saying I want to do because I can't look. I like. I'm always excited to basically break even or achieve what I'm saying that I really want to achieve. So, and that's something pretty unique about myself that I like. I like planning a lot. So that's all about me. And my name is Adebayo Ajayi for those that joined a bit late. So yes, I'm really excited to be your host for today. All right, I have a question for you guys. In just a way of introducing yourself, I would like to, get to know you guys better as well. There's some people on the call I'm seeing for the first time. I would like you to share one activity or habit that you started doing after moving to Canada. So for those in Canada, I believe everyone is in Canada. What's that one thing that you never used to do until you came to Canada? I will start. So you just tell me your name and that activity. So for me, one of the things I never used to do is check my bank app. When in Canada, I realized that almost every morning I always check my bank app. Oh, what have they removed again today? What's the balance today? So it's really an habit that I've started to do since I came to Canada. And one more. I'm the host, so I'm allowed to say two. The second one is that I check my weather app. In Nigeria, I don't really care. I came from Nigeria, so um, I don't care about the weather. I just go out. But in Canada, I have to dress for the weather. So you have to check, oh, is it fall weather? Is it winter vibes? Or is it summer shining before going out? So yes, these are the habits that I started doing when I came to Canada. All right. So please don't forget, tell us your name and that habit. All right. So who's going to go first? You can also use the chat. if probably you're not in a place that you can unmute yourself, it's totally understandable. Just please use the chat, and I would like to hear from you. I just have about 5 minutes for this session. So yes, Carla, please go ahead. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Carla. I am in Newport News, Virginia, so I'm not located in Canada. But I just wanted to say hello.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. So what's the habit that you started doing after moving to New Portland?
Well, I've lived here all my life, so I just wanted to say hello. I'm not from Canada, so.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Okay, good. Thank you so much, Carla. Okay, anyone on the call that would like to tell us something that they don't really used to do, but now they started to do? Anyone?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, Ebuka. Yes, I can hear you loud and
Yeah,
clear.
it's
Thank you.
Ebuka. Yeah, so
Yes.
my name is Ebuka Obidelu. Moved to Canada from Nigeria as well. Me and Bayo used to be work colleagues back in Nigeria as well. Yeah. So yeah, one habit I started doing when I moved to Canada was sleeping with socks, especially in like the cold
Wow.
weather. That was one thing that I never really had to do back at home. So
I can
yeah.
imagine. Yeah, back home, like, why are you sleeping with socks? What's happening? So I know what that means. Yeah, great. Okay. Any other person? Any other person that would like to go ahead and share something with us? Okay. So if no one else wants to share, we'll just proceed with the presentation. Oh, okay, good. So today I would like to talk about time management. And like I said, time management is something that is very critical in the Western world. And that's majorly because, time is money. So every of your time means something. You can't afford to just, be using time loosely without focusing on, how you are spending each and every minute of it. So basically, time management is basically the process of directing how much is spent on certain activity. My question is it really necessary to manage time? Like, why exactly is it necessary to manage time? And in all my life, I've been really conscious about what I invest my time in or what I currently do. And it is necessary to manage time because time equals money and money equals life. So if you want to manage money well, you have to manage time well. If you want to manage your life well, you have to manage your time well as well. And poor time management will result in stress and less productive life. And that's why it is extremely important that everyone that understands the concept of time, everyone understands the concept of time, be able to manage how productive they are in a very practical way. And this is something that a lot of people don't really pay attention to. And it's really critical to pay attention to how you are managing your time if you want to live a productive life. Very, very, very critical. Good. Now let's consider some powerful tips where how you want to effectively manage your time. And like I said to you, time equals money, time equals life. So if you don't really use your time the right way, there is no way you can tell yourself that, oh, I'm using time in the best practical or possible way. So that's why I said that it is very, very critical for us to manage our time effectively. One of the very practical ways to manage time effectively is setting smart goals. And, be it your personal, your career, your family life, your business and all, if you don't really set goals, you won't really, have anything to monitor. If you have anything to monitor, you won't really have anything to measure. This is why it's extremely critical that you set smart goals. Ensure that your goals are specific, ensure that they are measurable, and ensure that they are realistic. Because if they are not, you just realize that you are beating air and there's not really anything to really pay attention to. And the best people that get things done are people that actually set smart goals. And Second thing after setting goals is that you need to prioritize your goals wisely. You know, there is this 4 quadrant of time management. One of them is called urgent, important and urgent. Another one is important but not urgent. Another one is not urgent, not important. Another one is not important but urgent. Now, if you are able to break your goals down in a very practical way, you will then realize that you are able to know what is important at this point. What is that one that I should really focus. So if you don't prioritize your goals wisely, you realize that, you are not really focusing on the right thing at the right time, So you can prioritize your goal based on your deadline, based on the urgency and everything you are doing. And that's why, it is really, really important that whenever you're working on anything, you prioritize what is important at this point, what is urgent, what can I really push aside and everything. And the best leaders are people that prioritize their goals. So like I said, the first step is to have your goals. The second stage is to prioritize your goals, because it's not just important to have goals. You need to prioritize your goals so that you know what is important at every aspect of life, and you basically focus on that. Third one is break down your goals into achievable tasks. It's not just important for you to have your goals or prioritize your goals. It's so important for you to break your goals into achievable tasks. And one of the reasons why when you talk about the concept of procrastination, one major reason why a lot of people procrastinate is basically because they are overwhelmed with what they want to do. They are overwhelmed with what they want to do, and because they are overwhelmed with what they want to do, they realize that it's not how will I put it now? It's too huge, and they don't even know where to start from. And that's where a lot of people procrastinate. That's why a lot of people procrastinate. So, when you have your goals, the first one is to set your goals. The second one is to prioritize your goals. And third one is to break your goals into basic tasks. And that's why in project management, if you want to build a house, for example, your project schedule is going to include things as small as foundation, layering of blocks, wiring, and the rest. So there's an endorphin that is released in the dopamine, that is released in the human system when your goals looks achievable and it can be actioned. Okay. And the other one is create a timeline. Don't forget how we started the journey. The first one is to have a goal. The second one is to prioritize your goals. Then the third one, when you prioritize your goals, is ensure that you break down your goals into actionable activities so that it will be a lot easier for you to do. Then once you are done with that, you then need to create a timeline. Because if you don't create a timeline into specific activity, you realize you're not managing your time well. So activities that are meant to use 5 hours for, because you are multitasking or because you are doing a lot of things at the same time, you won't be able to stick to the time that you've given yourself that you want to focus on it. So, for example, you want to write an exam and you say, you know what, this exam, I want to read for 2 hours in the morning and no. Like, it's clear, it is written down that 2 hours in the morning, this is what I want to use, this is the time I want to spend on reading this exam. You realize that each task becomes urgent and important at the same time for you. So, always create timelines, very important. Also, work on the most important things first. Like I said, a lot of people like to just pick activities and do anyhow, and in order for you to be a good master of time, which means you master your life well, you need to work on the important things first. Ask yourself honest questions without sentiment. Now, what is really the most important thing? And once you know the most important thing, you focus on and prioritize that task, and that is basically what you do. Now, this is extremely important. A lot of times, we tend to assign people to help us with one activity or the other. And then we realize that after we have assigned people, we are doing a lot of rework. We are doing a lot of rework because we don't assign the right people for a particular task. There's this quote that says that the greatest mystery that can befall a man is to do effectively well what he should not have done at all. And I really like that saying that talks about, the greatest mystery that can befall a man is to do effectively well what he should not have done at all. So it's extremely important for you that, you have your goals, you've prioritized your goals, you have a timeline for each of the activities, you've broken your goals down into achievable parts. And one of one of the tasks is, oh, tell Ebuka to help me do this particular thing. And then what you are assigning to Ebuka is what Ebuka cannot do, or he doesn't have the competence to do. What you've just done is that, you wasted your time and you wasted Ebuka's time, and you are still going to come back to that activity. So in order to manage your task well, when you want to delegate and you want to ask for help, ensure that the people have the right strength or opportunity to get that thing done for you. Or else you realize that you still do that thing by yourself again. You wasted time delegating, you've now come back again to do that thing yourself. Now, in this part of the world, I realized that there's a lot happening at the same time. There's family, there's work, there's ministry, there's career, there's business, and a lot of things. And I'm talking like as a victim of this, because this happens to me as well. Whenever you are doing something, be fully engaged. Now, you realize that, and you can try that. When you are doing something and you are extremely fully engaged, you will spend less amount of tax on that activity. There's this rule about double R. Double R means that when you are doing two things at the same time, when you focus on one thing, you leave it and jump on the other. What happens is that you spend double of the time to actually get that thing done. So if you're ironing your clothes and you want to make breakfast, you just say, oh, let me iron the shirts. Let me iron the shirts. Once I'm done with the shirt, let me turn off the iron. Let me go and make the food and then come back to iron the trouser. You spend double of your time in that ironing activity. Because if you use 10 minutes to actually iron your shirt, you could have probably used 15 minutes to iron your shirt and your trouser at the same time, rather than ironing shirt, leaving it, going to cook, and coming back to iron trouser. And I always do that a lot by finishing one task before jumping to the other. Be fully engaged. Make regular and meaningful progress to boost your productivity by avoiding task switching. It's task switching mentally, it drains your energy, it drains your brain power. Also, time-wise, it wastes your energy. And the next point, I love it so much, is don't sweat on the small stuff. I love the concept of Pareto, which is 80-20 principle. It says that, whatever you focus, always focus on 20% of activity that can give you 80% of the result. Of course, it was a principle and it's not arbitrary. So it's not like, 80-20. What it's just saying is that focus on the smallest thing that can give you the maximum result. And there's a concept called the concept of leveraging. And this is exactly what it means. The concept of leveraging means that what can you leverage on that you can use less effort with greater result for you. Don't sweat on the small stuff. To manage your time effectively, that's something that you need to, there's something called the 2-minute rule. 2-minute rule means that whatever you want to do that will not take you more than 2 minutes, get it done immediately. Like, don't waste time on it. Just get it done immediately. And, and that's why there are some tasks that they are less than 2 minutes. I don't put it on my to-do list because there are things I can do, like while watching my Arsenal football match or while playing game or doing something else. So don't sweat on the small stuff. Do not try to get upset or stressed over basic issues. And, there's a concept that talks about let bygone be bygone. Whatever you have no control over, don't lose control over it, because you really don't have control over on it. So I hope someone is learning about how to manage time. Set your goals, prioritize your goals, break down your task, ensure your goals have timeline as well. Be fully engaged, and now don't sweat on the small stuffs. I love this concept. And this concept basically is learn to say no. A lot of times we think that when you say no is a sign of weakness. Actually, when you say no is a sign of strength. How do I know? There was a time in my life that any opportunity, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do it. And I was very weak. I was afraid that if I say no, they will see me as a failure. If I say no, they will see me as someone that is less effective. If I say no, they will say, oh, this guy is not competent. But now that I say no to certain things, I'm excited because now I think I'm very strong. I know what is important. I know what is urgent. I know what is less important. I know what is not adequate for this situation. And even in my workplace, I've learned to say no. So like I said, saying no is a sign of strength rather than a sign of weakness. Learn to say no. When you say no, it shows you that, you are strong. You know exactly, what you cannot actually give the time for. Okay? Learn to say no. Deciding to be productive is the result of a commitment. Deciding to be productive is the result of a commitment to distinctive effort. What does this mean? If you tell yourself that you want to be better in life by making use of your time well, by doing well with your time, it means that you have a distinctive effort. And having distinctive effort means that you are less than 20% of the people that will live a maximum fulfilling life, because no one can live a fulfilling life without managing the concept of time. My last slide now. Your earning potential is your most valuable asset. Your most valuable resource is time. So think about this. Your earning potential is your most valuable asset. Now, your most valuable resource that can give you that access is time. So it means that the more time you have for yourself, the more you're able to maximize your time, the more you're able to maximize your assets. And like I said to you, the gift of time is extremely important. Personally, I'm more charity driven than financial driven. If you understand what that means. And I give my time like a lot to as much people as possible. And I do that joyfully and willingly. But I realize that sometimes it weighs me down and, I'm not as productive as I ought to be. What did I do? Very simple. There are certain days that, I open my calendar that, I can do that personal counseling, personal consulting and the rest. While the other times, if it's someone that probably I really don't know, or if it's someone far away, I monetized it. So I have two calendars. I have Calendly Link, which is like the freebies, and I have a MKO calendar, which is monetized. So, and I put a value on my hour. So per hour, I monetize it. So it's a conscious effort, because if your most valuable resource is time, and you want to actually get your most valuable asset, you need to maximize your time to get that the right way. All right. And thank you. Any question for me? One of the things that I've learned about time management is that if you want to talk about time management, you don't have to waste people's time on the call to talk about time management. So it also has to be brief so that people can go and learn and do something productive as well. But any question for me on this? Any question?
Hi, Bayo. Good morning.
Hi.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry for joining late.
No worries.
I just had a quick question. When you have a toddler, how do you balance, managing some of your career priorities, entrepreneurship, and also family time, especially when you have a toddler?
Very good question, because I can relate to what you are saying, and I have the same. I have a soon to be 5 years old son. It'll be 5 next month by God's grace, and he's very handful. He's very agile and the rest. So what do I do? Once it is, I try to. So my 9 to 5 p.m. is highly intensive. So when I don't, and I should have said this to you guys. I have one calendar for everything I do in my life. So, and I have a lot of things going on at different times, but I have a central calendar that my job, my consulting, my two businesses, my volunteering organization, my SWI as well. Everything I'm meant to do Monday to Friday is on that central calendar. Then I have another central calendar for weekends. End to end, it is there. Now, the bulk of my work is done 9 to 5 before he comes back from school. It's tough, but that's what I do. Now, there are some times that I also want to do certain things that, I can't do 9 to 5. I put it late at night when he goes back to bed. So I have to make the sacrifice. And there was a time that I had this one, I was always very clingy. So he always wants to be with me after school and, feeding and everything. So I also have to create time for them. And for those that joined early, when I was introducing myself, I said something about I'm family centric. So I'm so keen about my family. So I can't cheat nature. And also I have a partner that also assists as much as possible. Right now I'm on the call. It's a Saturday. It's my spouse that is with my toddler. So that's what I do, to be honest. I try to put a bulk of activity when he's in school, when he's not around, and that's why even when he's on holidays from school, I try to put him in a what's it called now? We call it a camp, whether it's summer camp, a fall camp, or winter camp. Of course, it's quite a lot of money to be paying per day for him to go to that camp, but it is better than me not being able to be productive as well. So that's how I'm able to manage it. Put a bulk of activities when he's not around, when he's asleep, and all. Yeah. I hope I tried to answer it, Evie.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Because I'm in a similar but
yeah,
and I totally
it's
agree
very
with you.
tough. So I understand. It's so tough.
Thank you.
Hi, you're welcome. Hi, Fisayo. Good to see you. I see your hand is up.
Oh yeah, hi, Bayo. Thanks for the very short but effective reminders.
Yeah.
My question is really around how you built the system that allowed you to transition, the freebie guys that you really didn't know to putting $1 on your time.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, it sounds good. Yes, it sounds logical. But like if you could speak or double click a bit more, expand on like the process and the system built. How did you make that transition, and what does it look like today?
Okay, good. So I will explain it, and I'll be as very practical and sincere with everything I tell you in this process. So what I do is that my lunchtime at work every single day, I open my calendar up, and I will talk about what I used to do and now. So I'm talking about what I used to do in the past. What I used to do in my lunchtime, 12 to like 1:30, Monday to Friday, my Canada time, I open my calendar up, and weekends as well. Weekends is even like 9 to like 6. You can book me at all. When I send you my calendar, that's what you see. And I realized that I was not really productive because before, during the break time, I would just read something or even take a prayer walk or eat or like, but I realized that, I was giving out and the rate of me consuming or building myself was a bit low. And I said, oh, there's a problem. So the first thing I did was that I closed all the weekends and I opened Monday to Wednesday, I think, 3 times in a week, 1 hour, 12 to 1 on my Calendly. And then I realized that every time people want to have meets with me or so, they have to book like 2 weeks in advance because my calendars are always booked. I'm like, oh, it means that, and this is another thing that happened. People chat to me on LinkedIn. Oh, I just sent them my calendar, book a session with me, let's talk for free. And then I realized that after booking my time, after they book my time, they don't show up. They don't show up at all. Some of them forget, I don't know, they don't show up. And they've closed the opportunity for somebody else to, have a career conversation or something else with me. And then I realized that, oh, it means that people don't really value my time. And so what do? Those that I know well, those that I know, like you, for example, if you want to have a conversation with me, what I send you is my Calendly free link. But those that don't know me and I don't know their ethics, I don't know whether they really value my time or not, I have another link called KO Calendar link. The KO Calendar link is called it's KO Calendar or something. That's the name. And that one, I actually paid for it I paid for that and all. And then that's what I send to people that probably have never met before that want to have a chat with me or something. And I put a price on it. And that price, you can't pay a particular cost to have a 30 minutes conversation with me and you don't show up. If you don't show up, yeah, that's all, because my Stripe payment will have taken my money from your card. So you better show up. So yeah, those were the things. Number one, I realized that I was over giving out than even like time for myself. Number two, people don't actually respect my time. And I saw that, oh yeah, to put so much demand, to reduce the demand on it, let me put a cost to it so that people that want to, have conversation that will be able to, align what they want. And that's why I said to you that if your most valuable resource is time, and you want to use that to get your most valuable asset, which is financial earning, you have to maximize your time effectively. For example, another example, I have a speaking engagement this evening somewhere, and I volunteer in PMI Lakeshore, and today is our 25 years anniversary, and I'm like the assistant director for that event. And the event is actually 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And I'm like, no, I can't stay in an event from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. I delegated and I said, you know what, I'm going to show up for about 1 hour or 2 hours in that event. And, then the same today, a church actually booked, they have I have a speaking engagement in a church. And they said, oh, the event is 6 to 8 p.m. And I said, oh, that's fine. What exactly am I coming up? Give me the time for that. And I realized that, oh, I'm actually coming up 7 to 8 p.m. And if I didn't ask that question, I'll have been there from 6 to 8. 6 to 7, I could have used that to do something different entirely. And then 7 to 8 as well. Another basic example, I have I have a company, and I have 2 trainings going on today. I had to employ, initially, I run a project management training company. I used to be the only trainer in that company, but now I have 3 trainers. And now, as I'm speaking with you guys now, a training session is ongoing. By 3 p.m., another training session will start. And it's not me. It's not me that's going to handle those trainings. That's why I said to you that delegate to the right people. So, and trust me, the time I'm not using for that training, I'm using it for something that I can use to make times 10 of what I would have made if I was training. And don't forget, it's not just about making money directly. There's a way you can make some money indirectly. There are some things that it can give you an edge for life. And that's why the word knowledge is coming from 2 words, know and edge. The more you know, the more edge you have. So time is very, very critical. And if you don't see time as a very tangible resource, trust me, you will not be able to how will I put that? You're not able to maximize so much that you can maximize. You know the people I respect most in Canada? Those that do contract job. Those are people I respect most in Canada. When they do a contract job and they basically get about $100 per hour, because they know the value of their hour. I know. So yeah. So your question has made me talk about so many other things. So yeah. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, you did like 98%. How did you put a dollar price on your hour? Did you benchmark it to your current 9 to 5, or how did you estimate what that number would be?
So what I did was I asked myself, if I want to book a session with somebody, what's the reasonable amount of money I can put? That's all I did.
Okay.
There's this book that talks about it's on consumer insights, and it talks about wear the shoes of your consumers. And that's the best marketing principle anybody can tell you. So if you want to sell something to somebody, what will make you buy that product? That was what I did, to be honest. How much can I pay for this session if I'm to speak with somebody? And that was all I did.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think I was going the route of asking. So imagine you're, should I say, in a contract position, and you still have the passion to do this kind of thing, but then this is you willingly choosing to underpay yourself. For example, if I'm doing a contract job for 100 an hour, like you said, the ability and willingness to pay of somebody to book a session with me might not be up to 100. Let's say it's 50 an hour, for example. Is this me willingly, in that case, does that now make, should I say, logical or sustainable sense?
Yeah. I will answer your question in a very simple way again. And what I'm going to say is that there are some people that their consulting side is their full-time job. And I know a lot of people like that. People that, especially the finance advisors and co in Canada, that's like their butter and bread. So with that, they won't do what I've done to say that how much am I willing to pay for per session. That's one. They won't also, how will I put it now? They won't also say that, okay, how much can Fisayo pay? They won't do that. They will say, what exactly can pay my bills? So the approach is different. And like I said, I'm more charity driven than even financial driven. And, it totally depends on what you want. So if you think that, this is a major sort of income for you, then trust me, you have to put your what. And that's the honest truth. Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah. Any other question for me? This session is actually live on YouTube. So Success Within International, that's the YouTube name. In case you want to go over the recording, for those that joined us a bit late, you are free to go over the recording. And yes, and that'll be all for today's breakfast meeting. Like I said, when you teach on time management, you have to be conscious of people's time. And that's what I've done today. Thank you so much, everyone, and enjoy your weekend. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Right.
Yeah.